A moment of anticipation. Will you jump? Anticipation of the flow, and on the other hand, anticipation of fear, of the uncomfortable. Well, good evening. It's nice being with you here tonight on another regional Pecha in Liège. Liège, which is in the heart of FRENGDENL, a world of languages, 4 languages, Français, English, Deutsch and Netherlands. And I'm going to tell you why I keep on pushing myself in uncomfortable, fearful situations and places. Like the Euro-region Meuse-Rhine, this is where we are right now. It's a cross-border region and it's quite complex, as you might know, as you might encounter every day, as I am. It is full of complexity. It's in legislations, and just to give you another prominent example, you will all know this, transport systems. This is a snapshot that I took yesterday morning of all the train tickets that I would have in my own wallet. And to make it clear, I like complexity. I like it a little difficult, but sometimes there are better solutions to this. You could have only 1 ticket instead of more tickets. But I want to get across is not that we should have 1 ticket for everything, but please remain sensible to the question of if we need more complexity or maybe sometimes easy things. Well, I like complexity, as I told you. I like it sometimes a bit difficult, and there are more people who think like this in this Euro region. People like those political representatives. They're presenting the Bid Book, which is, the Bid Book is presented to the European jury to become culture capital of Europe in 2018. And it looks like a really formal project. Every now and then, I have to admit it is a formal project. But nevertheless, I thought, I jump into it. I want to be part of this project because I like the complexity. So, how did I do that? I actually called the office who's organizing the whole thing, and I did quite some effort, and I was accepted as an internee at VIA 2018, which is that organization. Yeah, and if you become an internee, how does that look like? You have to maintain a website, which was nice, of course, because you learn how to maintain a website, to write articles, to edit articles. It's nice. And I had dived into that world of FRENGDENL, of the 4 languages. I was just into it. But at the same time, I had to face this, because we do not have only 1 website. Because it's a regional project, it's 4 websites. And then it becomes really complex and annoying sometimes, because you get into translation. And this is something I discovered for myself, that in the world of FRENGDENL, you should maybe not try to separate them too much. The moment that you have to really translate, you're trying to make it a literal translation, you're trying to really express it in a really precise way. But this is what makes it difficult. And sometimes I was just lost in that translation work. Just maybe like those 2 people. It's a film still from the film Lost in Translation. And those people, they feel kind of isolated. They're being in Tokyo, facing, a foreign world, because they are surrendered to that translation work. Well, there is hope. This little bird is the visualization that is used by the European Capital of Culture project, and it involves all the 4 program lines and the title of the whole project. And you see in the core of the bird speaking in tongues, and this is actually the core of the project as well. So it took as a point of departure the languages and our struggle with languages as well. But also there have been done some research projects already, like a research into the origins of all the languages that we speak in this region. And at the very origin, there is one person, Henry van Veldeke, which is a long time back. There's another research program, or there has been another research program run by Stijn Meurens, and he made 5 films. This is 1 film still. And he also goes on to discovery of the whole language problematic, let's say. Well, and there has been another discovery in those research projects, I think, that the moment you let loose of those 4 different parts, the translation work, you actually come to see that interesting about it is where the languages meet each other, that they're quite similar, but also to see where they grind up against each other. So this is the interesting part about languages. And just to give you another impression, this is from the Bitbook presentation, and it was moderated by 3 moderators in 3 different or 4 different languages even. But the nice thing about it was not a literal translation. They were actually adding always something to what was said. And this was a touching moment for me. Another touching moment, of course, is when you realize that it's not only verbal language you can use, it's also body language. It's dance, it's theater. Your body is always talking, speaking in the one or other way. But in order to come actually into that flow, into that nice communication, you have to jump first. So we're back at this beautiful picture taken by Verena Gorni of the swimming pool. And I like it because it's both in there. There's the flow in there, the flow of language, the flow of speaking. But in that moment of standing there, of having to dive into it, it's always fear as well. It's uncomfortable. So, dear listeners, let me have a try myself. Let's jump. Permettez-moi à sauter moi-même dans une langue qui n'est pas la mienne et une langue qui me toujours, elle me flanque la trouille toujours. Mais c'est dans parler, d'essayer les autres langues que je me rencontre moi-même. Et c'est là où je grandis. Thank you for listening, and let's hope that someday there will be a Euregional Pechakucha, een Pechakucha vraiment regional, waar iedereen zijn eigen taal mag spreken. Dankeschön fürs Zuhören. Good night.